Hello and welcome to Culture Clash. I am your host, Luis Villalón, and I am so excited to talk shit with you about the most random things that have happened all throughout the week. And to kick off this amazing show, I have someone who is so creative, so talented, and I honestly could not think of a better person to help me break down everything that has happened in the last few days. Please, please, please help me welcome my very good friend, my very good Judy, Liam Haehnle. Hi, Liam.
Hi, everybody.
How are you today?
Could be worse.
Well, this is the worst.
Yeah.
Do you know that reference?
I don't. What's that from?
Wendy Williams.
Love Wendy Williams.
Yes, to Mother Wendy. Hi, Wendy.
Hi, Wendy.
How you doing? Are you ready to talk shit?
Oh, I was born ready to talk shit.
I know that's right. I am so happy that you're here.
Blessed to be here. Thank you for thinking of me.
Of course. How could I not? There has been so many things that has been going on Fashion Week. Hello?
So, where do you even want to start?
We'll get there.
Okay.
Oh, believe me, we'll get there.
I'm ready.
We are dragging these girls. We are dragging these designers. And we're giving the flowers who deserves the flowers.
I don't give out a lot of flowers, so be warned.
I think this time there will be flowers to be given.
Okay.
There has been amazing shows and many, many great things that have happened that I am so excited to talk to you about, get your input, and also your input that you're watching us from home. So, yeah. But before we get started, before we talk shit, I want to ask you something. It kind of helps me learn about who my guests are.
Okay.
And who I'm dealing with. Who is your pop star? Who is your number one girl?
I was dreading you ask this, because I know you know. I'm an Ethel Cain girl. Tell me she's not a pop star. I don't want to hear it. She is a pop star. She's everything.
She said what she said.
She said she said. And we don't need to get any deeper into it, because I know she's not like, oh, let's dance and have fun. She's depressed, and that's okay.
I mean, but that's part of pop. That's part of art, and we love that.
Yeah, and if not her, Addison Rae, gun to my head. But I can dance to Ethel Cain. Watch me.
I actually have a bone to pick with Addison Rae, and I just need the girl to just be a pop star. She was born, she was made to be a pop star.
She really was.
Like, stop playing with us and just give us pop music.
It's gonna happen. You saw who her producer is. He has 25 Grammys for #1 songs. He's amazing.
So just give your time to Addison Rae. However, I do have to give Addison Rae a big shout out because she has some crazy ass family, which really has been in my mind, I really think that she has been her family has stopped her from becoming the pop star and the diva that she's meant to be.
Really? I don't know enough about her in that regard.
Oh, her family is crazy. Like, her parents are kind of like Britney Spears type of parents. I think that if they would have found out about her talents, she would have been the next Britney Spears. And I don't mean that musically or
they just would have taken advantage of.
Yes, because they are getting divorced. The dad is telling story. It's nasty.
Okay.
But I need you to ditch your parents, and I need you to become a pop star ASAP. You are a pop star. You have everything to be a pop star. So just stop playing with us and give us music, Addison.
We digress. That is for another day. Oh my God.
I said what I said.
You said what you said, and I heard it.
Yeah. But, I mean, listen, I love Addison Rae. I think she's amazing. Her music is so good. She has everything.
She has it all. She's an all-American girl, and I'm sorry, let's bring back girls with real-looking bodies. I love her look. She's not pushing anything.
Yes.
She is just herself, and she's so stunning.
Yes. She's so stunning. And like I said, yeah, she has the X factor, which very few people do.
Very few people have it.
Yes, and I believe she's one of them. So, Addison, if you're listening, just give us music.
Period.
Anyways, let's get into the very first conversation I want to talk to you about.
What do you want to hit me with?
Well, I hope you have the VCR cleaner and
Yeah.
you can spit on it, because we're just going to rip it off like a Band-Aid. We are talking about politics and fashion.
A lot happened recently. A lot of hard takes there.
A lot. And if you think that fashion has nothing to do with pop culture, or pop culture has nothing to do with fashion or politics, you might be wrong.
Oh, fashion is heavily political, and it's all tied together. Where do you want to even start with this? Which girl do you want to take down?
Well, let me give you a little rundown so that we can
Okay.
get a little context of why this inauguration and the fashion that the women, because we don't really care about the men, the women wore is so important and why it's such a hot topic. So, let me tell you that in 2017, numerous designers, including Marc Jacobs and Tom Ford, refused to dress First Lady Melania Trump. Melania, a former fashion model, never graced the cover of Vogue, as did former First Lady Joe Biden and former Vice President Kamala Harris over the last 4 years. So let's talk about this. Melania, a fashion girl, a supermodel,
To some,
a model.
a model. I'll give her that. She's a
I
model.
love the shading to some. She was on the cover of Vogue before she became the first lady.
She would, true.
Condé Nast, which is the main daddy for Vogue, said, no, we're not having you on the cover as a first lady.
Absolutely not.
Many designers decided not to work with her and any of the ladies in the...
Well, do you remember when they put Jill Biden on the cover? And it was unfortunately one of the saddest covers I've ever seen Vogue do.
I mean, Vogue America is one of the saddest covers that they do.
I don't want another podcast, another
But
day.
that's another story, yes. So nowadays, let me give you the rundown of
Yeah.
what the ladies wore at the inauguration last week.
Tell me.
So Miss Jill Biden wore a Ralph Lauren outfit, which was black. No, actually, it was purple.
It was
It
purple.
was purple. I'm sorry. It was a
Kamala was in black.
Yes, Miss Harris was in black, as well as Hillary Clinton was in black. Now, for Melania Trump wore Laura Kim and Fernando Garcia, which are the creative directors for Oscar de la Renta. Ivanka arrived in a Dior forest green suit and a matching pillow box hat, paired with a Lady Dior handbag. And Miss Usha Davis, which is the vice president's wife,
Yes.
she also wore Oscar de la Renta. What do you think?
Well, I think what's really interesting about fashion in politics is specifically tied to the White House is that in years past with past presidents and past presidents' wives, you saw so many of them wearing foreign designers, and they spent a lot of money on foreign designers. Then comes in Michelle Obama, and it wasn't just her inauguration look that was an American designer. She was hit after hit, every single one. She was spending just as much as previous first ladies, but she was spending that money on explicitly American designers. And there's always sort of been this unspoken rule of like inauguration day, wear an American designer. But Melania last term wore a lot of foreign designers outside of just her inauguration. Her inauguration was still American, but outside of that, a lot of foreign. And it just speaks a lot to the volume of the presidency. And to see this one, to see certain designers who are coveted by a lot of us so willingly dress people that we might not agree with, which prior so many designers said, no, we're not touching them, is really, really interesting. But it comes down to really just two, Ralph Lauren and Oscar de la Renta, who are dressing a lot of these girls. And I really want to know, like, did Kamala Harris and Hillary Clinton have a group chat where they were like, you wearing black? Like,
We're wearing black.
we're wearing black
Yeah.
and we're going to be tipping our hats in this moment.
And it's very interesting that you bring up Michelle Obama in the fashion world, because to give you a little context of why fashion has so much to do with politics and as well as pop culture, if we go back to the 60s where Jackie Kennedy was getting so much heat for wearing American designers and for spending so much money on fashion, she decided, okay, fine, I'll wear American. And
Yeah.
her answer was, we'll bring everything from Chanel, make it in America, and we'll say that it was made in America.
Literally, she took the cuts, the fabric, and just said, but we're going to make it in America. I want this look, ripped it out of the magazine, had an American make it.
Yeah, and then you come to Michelle Obama, who was wearing J. Crew, which you would never see a first lady wear, something that us peasants can just go to the store and buy. Like, that would be unheard of.
And so much of what she wore wasn't beyond just like accessibility. It was small artists like who had never had a big break before. Like so many great American designers that we still haven't heard of because they still haven't broken out had their first big break look on Michelle Obama. Like she really prioritized, or at least her team prioritized, finding those people.
Yeah.
And I think that was an amazing testament to the values they had and how much they cared for the American people.
And I had been hearing a lot of people going after Oscar de la Renta and the designers that they dress them. I mean, if you were a fashion designer and you were giving the opportunity to dress a first lady, I mean, whether you agree or not, it's such an opportunity that, how do you say no to that?
It is. And also, it's such a sticky situation. I remember when, I believe it was when Biden first got in office, Schiaparelli dressed Lady Gaga. And at the time, I was thinking, what a boring dress, especially knowing the house codes. I was like, they could have done so much more, but you have to play it conservative no matter what.
Yeah.
And so, like, looking back on that, it's not the greatest Schiaparelli look I've ever seen, but they had to play into these politics.
Yeah. Okay, speaking of not so classy,
Yeah.
Miss Jeff Bezos' girlfriend.
What's crazy to me is, obviously, it's McQueen jacket, but
Yeah.
the lace bra underneath it, insane. Anywhere else, I would have been like, chic. But at inauguration,
I mean, girl, she probably got it from Amazon. And she probably got a code, like, swipe up, order this little blouse, and
it looked cheap. That was my biggest issue. Like, it didn't even, and I was shocked when I saw it was McQueen. It was obviously who just stepped down from McQueen, Sarah Burton, but it was nothing special, which it didn't need to be, but it felt cheap in a lot of ways, and I didn't want to feel like in this time in life that we were feeling cheap.
Your fiance is one of the richest men in the world, and you're telling me that you're wearing this. Like, girl,
Well,
come on,
her overcoat was also Schiaparelli. Daniel's everywhere. And it was ready to wear, which I think is one of the weakest points in the brand. And I love the brand, but it's definitely one of the weakest points, and no one would know it was Schiaparelli. It was just like a wool mohair jacket.
I have to give it to Ivanka Trump. I mean, she looked stunning. Again, politics aside, that green outfit, the pillbox hat.
But did you see the parallels drawn to what's that TV show where Handmaid's Tale? I've been seeing it everywhere, and it's like they couldn't have not known. There's no way it wasn't like on the mood board in some way.
Of course it was. And the last look that I do want to talk about is also Melania Trump at the inaugural ball. She was also wearing Oscar de la Renta, but the look I want to talk about is Ivanka Trump wearing Givenchy.
Yes.
A replica dress of Audrey Hepburn that she wore back in the 1960s. I can't remember the movie, but the dress was stunning.
It was beautiful. Would Audrey Hepburn stand for her today? I don't know. Would she like that but also, we're seeing so many celebrities rehash Audrey Hepburn and other people to try and like take part of that light, take part in that culture. And it is what it is. We can't stop them. We can only interpret it and say, wow, you looked great or you didn't. She looked great.
Yeah. Like I said, I am putting politics aside. In fact, I am just judging these looks. I'm covering their faces, except Ivanka, because I needed to see the hat. But I'm just judging the looks. And I have to say that it was beautiful. I think it speaks on American culture that we're living. When I say that fashion has so much to do with pop culture and politics, we are seeing the divide on race and class and all of this, and it's about opulence.
It is about opulence. And it's also, I'm so picky when it comes to remaking something that we've seen before, and they did a beautiful job. Like, objectively, like, they just did a really gorgeous job remaking a dress and interpreting it in a way that felt palatable, versus, like, Lana Del Rey, when she was at the Met Gala this past year wearing Alexander McQueen, the original dress, if you look at it, was stunning. The one they made for her looked like they got like dime store fabric. It was so cheap looking.
Yeah, if you're going to replicate a look, just give me the tea. Like, just give me every single detail.
I need all of it, and I need it to look good.
That is the term. Do not fix it if it's not broken. And if you want to get creative, then go and get creative with something else. But if you're going to recreate a look, just
if you're referencing, make it better, make it more interesting. Don't downgrade it. And that's where, like, I'll give her flowers. She did a great job with that reference.
Yes. So kudos to the ladies. They look fantastic. Yeah, that's that. And for the man, we don't really care what they wear.
I don't know what a man is. I've never seen a man in my life.
Next topic. Speaking of fashion and speaking of good looks, Paris Fashion Week is going on.
It's been such a juicy week for me. I love Paris Fashion Week. They always show up. Who do you want to start with?
I mean,
I'll let you pick.
Who do we start with? The one and only.
Schiaparelli.
Exactly.
I can't get enough. Daniel, I love you. If you see this, I've never been more in love with someone in my entire life. Don't tell my boyfriend. But it just... what are your initial thoughts?
My initial thought is that it is not fair that he gets to go first. I mean,
he sets the standard so high.
How do you even top that?
I mean, there's some that have tried. And they've done we can talk about it. They've done some
job.
really good job. A lot of people are very torn on Chanel and Dior right now.
Oh, we'll talk about it.
But it's his care and his passion for it is just so wonderful. And I saw a lot of comments he made, and like I read the show notes. It's about making designs that feel contemporary, feel futuristic, but didn't feel minimal, because so much of what we think about when futuristic designs and sci-fi designs is really sleek lines, minimalistic patterns. He said, no, I still want it to be Rococo. I still want it to feel Baroque, but it's going to be future. And it looked...
Rich.
That one skirt that was like the tutu with the... Yes. It was just everything.
Which I believe that Ariana Grande needs to wear that skirt. It's like the top.
How do you sit in it?
Who cares? You don't sit. Also, Ariana.
On your knees,
Yeah, Ariana is like 2'11".
No, literally, she'll be fine.
Yeah, she's 2 foot long and a half. She'll be fine.
There was the beadwork alone was just, and that's the thing, because what people don't realize, there's fashion week, there's ready to wear, and then there's haute couture. And not every fashion house has haute couture.
Correct.
It is something by panel, by like jury that says, okay, you can qualify for this, and it is a level of craftsmanship that qualifies you for haute couture. And Daniel at Schiaparelli, sorry, we're on a first name basis, by the way. Yeah. He shows up. He gives you detail. Some of these girls do not, and we'll get into that if you want. Because I think, there were some issues at Dior where I was like, this looks dead ass like a lot of your ready-to-wear collection from last year. It's Maria there, right?
Yeah. I have Dior. We'll talk about Dior because that is on my shit list.
If I can say anything, Maria, count your days. 3 more years, 3 more collections, actually.
Girl, count your weeks because I'm bored.
I'm over it.
But let's finish up with Schiaparelli. Amazing work. The detail. I mean, it was just beautiful. The fact that when I saw Kendall Jenner, I didn't even realize it was Kendall because I was mesmerized by the dress she was wearing.
I realized it was Kendall only because she gave absolutely nothing.
Oh
like
my
there
God.
was, I love that. Ugh. Can you just give something, anything? You are the top paid model in the world, and consistently I'm getting nothing. Sorry for the shade, but give more. Alex Consani walked for Schiaparelli.
She
I
did.
cried. Favorite model of the year, by the way. Sorry, I'm a
year.
nook, but
Yes.
model of the year.
Hey girl. I love
She's
her.
a doll.
Yes, she's a doll. We love her so much. Daniel, you are a fashion god, and truly you have brought back opulence, rich. Like when it comes to haute couture, I want to make sure that I look at that thing and I'm like, that would cost me 26 years of work.
Oh, absolutely.
It is not for everyone. It's about 250 women supporting haute couture around the world.
And here's the thing. You can all shit on exclusivity, but exclusivity is what drives culture.
And if you could be one of the 250 women,
You would be.
You absolutely would
But
be.
you can't be, and that's okay.
That's okay. It's no big deal.
Also, a boy from Texas, Daniel, revolutionizing. Thank you,
Yes.
Texas. I don't think Texas enough.
We love boy designers from Texas. Hey, Tom Ford.
Also, he was, like Tom Ford, also in architecture prior.
Yeah.
God. We all should have
Just-
gotten architecture degrees.
Yes. So, Daniel, please stay at Schiaparelli. You are doing God's work. Thank you.
Please.
The next one I want to talk about is Chanel because it's very interesting what they're going through. So, as you know, Karl Lagerfeld passed away a few years ago.
R.I.P..
And Virginie Viard was the one who took over the house. Now, Virginie was Karl's right hand for many, many decades. So it only felt natural for her to take over.
Was it natural or was it just convenience?
Convenience. Because, one, how do you as an assistant or as a right hand top Karl Lagerfeld? Like, the legend, and yes, Karl has been problematic, and that's another.
Yeah, that's it. We can do a herstory of like fashion and problems
Yeah.
because there's a lot of those.
But Karl as a designer was revolutionary, and how do you? I feel like you said the right word.
A lot of people also I remember when he died, and there was the 2 collections that sort of came out, or the 2 seasons after his death. So many designers were referencing Chanel, and everyone was saying, "Oh my God, they're all just like paying homage." No, girl, they were trying to say, "I could do this, put my name in the running." And there were a lot of people who I thought they were gonna get it, and that when you're ready to talk about it, I know exactly who I thought should have gotten it, and I want to talk about him in a minute.
Well, so the thing about it is that Virginie was the creative designer for quite some time, about 5 years, 4 or 5 years, something like that. Can't remember when that happened. However, she did not do the collection this year. It was a teamwork. So therefore, the House of Chanel put this outfit together, put this whole collection together. And I think that there was a key factor to say, let's make this not memorable. Because in next season, Matthew Blasey will be the one.
Official creative director.
Director for Chanel.
It's a transition period, which a lot of houses, I remember when Alessandro Michele stepped down from Gucci, I think it was almost 2 full years, or at least 2 full seasons we had, where it was just the house of Gucci designing. It was just the in-house designers making garments, making things, and putting them out there as a collection with no creative director tying it all together or having like a face to put on it. And we see it more often than not. You just don't recognize it because not everyone's tapping into it. But
Yeah. But I'm excited for Chanel. Like I said, I didn't really care for this collection. It was so not memorable. Like I was just like, okay.
I've never cared for Chanel personally.
Well, the thing about Chanel is that they revived themselves in the 90s and that's really what they need. I think Chanel has not learned about the clientele for Chanel. It's an older woman. Like we get that. But
Yeah,
you
and
al-
like young girls with way too much money.
but you also want to attract those young girls and start from a young age to build clientele throughout the years.
I mean, there's so many great documentaries on this, but the moment Naomi Campbell finally started wearing Chanel, or was at least being dressed by Chanel,
Yeah.
changed everything, and it really revolutionized their market value.
Yeah, but then Chanel went from like that boring ass suits that they had to like bikinis, and it was truly just a moment of like, oh, Chanel is young. And to that point, I think someone who is doing a great job and they show that exact thing that I'm talking about is Jack Moose with this season.
So Jacques Mus is who I wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
I love you. He is my number one. If Daniel were to die, he's my number one. He was my number one for a long time. I've been following his career since his early 20s, to my knowledge, maybe even a little bit younger. I remember finding him a long, long time ago. And his early designs were so much more women's suit forward, so much more sculptural. And then I believe it was 2018 he released La Bamba, the collection that catapulted him into fame because he had such a clear vision. And since then, he was only giving us iterations on La Bamba, which in my opinion are considered cruise collections. Things that are designed for like, I'm gonna go on vacation, I'm gonna wear this and I'm gonna feel great and sexy. Which is fine, but it reduced the brand identity down to a cruise collection, something you only wear in the summer. Again, nothing wrong with that. This, however, because he's always shown off calendar, was the first time he's come back to showing on calendar at Paris Fashion Week. I think he killed it. I have notes, but finally he's returning to his roots of structure and sculpture and caring about what women in the workplace want, not just women on the beach.
But I think it was such a great tactic. I'm going to be really honest with you.
Tell me.
Jack Moose to me was just like, okay, he's a cute designer. All the it girls are wearing it. Everybody wants it. He's the new it hot thing. Like everybody wants it, right? And to me, a lot of designers like that, it's like, do you have longevity in this business? Because when you become so hot so quick, like, you know, it can be.
Well, the iron was on. We actually started to see, for the first time, some of his bags really start to go on sale. And like that was scary, I think, imagine for him. He also was branching out. He was opening up cafes all over the world. He was finally getting his first flagship in America. Opened up in New York recently. And this collection came at a time where he had to really prove a point because he's also one of the few designers that isn't backed by a major house. You know, like he is still completely independent. Every other design house is owned by a larger company. They're like most of the designers out there are owned by the same like few houses, and they're all like controlled by the same thing. He is still completely independent. He hasn't been bought out, and he's had to prove that. He did a great job. Did he make a lot of references? Yes. Did I see a Balenciaga look? Did I see a lot of Peter Doe? Did I see a lot of Margiela references? Yes. But it's how you interpret those. I think we're in an age in life where we can't constantly beat on people for referencing because we've produced so much.
Yeah.
It's always going to be referencing. It's how you interpret what you saw and how you made it your own. If it's a direct ripoff, if it's a one-for-one, chop.
Yeah.
But I think he did a good enough job on his own. Like that one feather look, there was a Balenciaga look just like that. Schiaparelli showed a look just like that, and like, but it was still his. It had his own twist on it. A lot of the pant silhouettes, a lot of the jacket silhouettes, a lot of Margiela going on there, but still, it felt more Jacques Mus coded with a little of that.
It felt very Jack Moose coded without losing that young, it's hot thing. And that's where I was going with like the Chanel. Like, I think he is understanding his customer. His customer truly was the 24, 23-year-old girl with the cute bag 5 years ago. And now that girl who got that Jack Moose bag has the money to maybe want a wedding dress.
Or has now a corporate girly and has big girl
Exactly.
money and a big girl apartment. And so he's the one I was referencing. I think if I had to pick anyone for row dart at a board, I would want Simon to be the creative director at Chanel. And I thought, honest to God, because fun fact, Karl Lagerfeld loved him. He never went to school for design. I think he might have for a year been at Central St. Martin's and dropped out. But Karl Lagerfeld mentored him.
Yeah, but I do need a little. Chanel is one of the oldest fashion houses. I need a little more time. I think that for you to get to Chanel,
He needs to mature a little bit.
Yes.
Maybe be a creative director at one other house for a few years.
Yes.
But I genuinely thought there's so many designers that had a great running to be creative director there. I thought Jacques Mus would have put a unique spin on it that would have completely turned the house on its head and brought in a whole new era of Chanel.
But I think if we go through this new Chanel with Matthew, I think it can revive it and give opportunities to younger designers like Jack Moose to eventually take over the house. But I think Chanel needs someone who is established, who has a staple look, who knows exactly what they're doing, and a little cocky, a little,
Yeah.
I've been in the business, I know what I'm doing, which really was what Karl Lagerfeld did. I mean, he came on and said, I've been on Perry Ellis, I've been on Fendi, like, you're not going to come and tell me what to do. And that's kind of what Chanel needs. Someone who is a big bitch who's going to be like, I don't want this. And I think Jack Moose needs a little bit of that yet. And he's still also coming into a fashion house like Chanel. You really have to bring in a lot of client because the clientele are going to be a little,
Well, also, I think it's the point of he realized when he wasn't chosen to go to Chanel, he's like, oh, fuck, I've only been making La Bamba collections for the past 4.5 years. Like, no wonder they didn't take me seriously.
Exactly.
And so this collection, I think going forward, we're going to see a lot more serious, a lot more structured pieces from him. And when designers, because we've been seeing a major in the past like 9 to 12 months shuffle of like designers and households, like people retiring or dropping out and new names coming in. What I don't want is a repeat of what happened when Heidi Slimane went from YSL to Celine and just said copy paste everything I did at YSL and just put it at Celine.
I mean, you might as well just had ripped out the tags and put them in there.
It drove me crazy. I loved it. Was beautiful. But I was like, you just made Celine into YSL. No complaints, but still, it was the same thing. I was so bored.
Yeah.
Like, do something a little different, but still have your taste on it. And that's what they look for when they, because you hire a creative director to come to a house to bring their take on it.
Exactly, yeah. And just to make it very quick, because I really don't have a lot of good things to say, Dior. I'm bored. Ms. Maria. Gracias, but you need to go, girl.
I have a lot of respect, but
A lot. But girl, come on. I mean, Dior, where is John Galliano for Dior? Where are those looks?
And if you zoom in, if you look at them, like the detail is gorgeous, but I'm bored. And again, it looks just like the ready-to-wear collection. There was nothing new. I was like,
Nothing.
if I'd never seen anything else she'd done, I'd been like blown away. But this is just iteration after iteration of the same thing. And also, like, these Krenlin dresses I saw, like with the big birdcage underpieces, been done, and like it's not that interesting.
No.
Like it won't translate the way they think it will. And we're gonna see one of them on a red carpet. I'm convinced, and we're just gonna be like, it doesn't look the same.
Well, someone who's going to get paid a lot of money, because I would not pick any of those outfits. And they were pretty, don't get me wrong.
Who is the Dior ambassador right now?
Oh, that's a good
Anya
question.
Taylor-Joy. She's probably having a field day.
Yeah, she's like, ugh. Fuck. But that's just Christian Dior. I'm bored. But there were amazing, amazing options. And with that, we're going to move on to the next topic. Let me get into this camera. And let me tell everyone that's going to be showing up to a red carpet in the next few weeks. You have no excuse to look bad.
Oh,
The
none.
looks that were presented, that have been presented over the last few days, that continue to be presented in the next few days, I mean, they deserve to be on the red carpet.
Not only do those deserve to be on the red carpet, but let me also say we've learned so much from a lot of stylists out there. Pull something. There are archives. Fashion doesn't have to be this never-ending voracious cycle of what's new, what's fresh. Go back in time.
Yes.
There are some tested, true looks that never got worn. A collection will release with 65 looks, and you'll only see 3 of them on a red carpet in 10 years. Go back. Pull something that wasn't pulled.
Just don't destroy it, Kim. But anyways, talking about red carpets, the Oscar nominations have been announced.
I've never been so disheartened by an Oscar nomination cycle. Go through them. What do we need to hear?
Well, let me give you the little rundown. Because
Okay.
comedian Bowen Yang and Rachel Sennott announced nominations for the 2025 Academy Awards on Thursday morning. Emilia Perez, Netflix musical about trans drug lord in Mexico, leads with 13 nominations. Wicked and The Brutalist follow with 10 nominations each, including Best Picture. Now, it is very important to say that nominations were delayed twice due to the racing fires in Southern California, and the annual Academy luncheon honoring nominees was canceled altogether.
Where do you want to start with this?
Okay, let me give you some of let me give you some of the nominees. So
Okay.
we're not going to get into, there are many
I can comment if you want, or do you want to get into the first nominees and then we'll open this to comments?
let's start with Best Picture.
Okay. What are they?
Because I'm not going to lie. I'm not big on movies. My retention span is So
You happen to be sitting next to someone who's very big on movies. So.
Yes, so it is perfect that you're here. I'm so happy that you're here so that you can really give me the rundown on who you think might win. Why is she even nominated? So here's Best Picture: Anora,
Okay.
The Brutalist, The Complete Unknown, Conclave. Is that right?
Conclave.
Conclave. I read that in Spanish. Hey, ESL. Dune Part 2. Wait, does that mean Zendaya will be there?
Oh yeah, Zendaya will be there. These girls are going to get dragged.
Every single time that I saw an outfit, I was like, Zendaya would look good. Zendaya would wear that. LaRoche, pull that.
It's easy when you have a body that perfect.
Emilia Perez, I'm Still Here, Nickel Boys, The Substance, and Wicked.
Okay, so my top 3
Yeah.
shining stars for Best Picture,
Okay.
in no order, The Substance, just mind-blowing. Also, this Academy historically hates horror films. So if it won any awards at all, it would do leaps and bounds for the horror film community. I know a lot of our friends are horror movie fans. A lot of goros are horror movie fans. So that would be wonderful. Second, Anora it's phenomenal. If you don't have a chance to see it yet, go see it. It's beautiful. It's a wonderful film. But The Brutalist, as far as like most well shot, thought out, well written, perfect score, well acted, just, do you have 4.5 hours? I don't think so. But if you do, go see The Brutalist. And that's why I think it might, personally, this is the drama, I don't think The Brutalist will have as fair of a chance because no one wants to sit down for 4 hours to watch it. There's an intermission. There's a literal intermission, a 15-minute
The
break.
longest movie I'm watching is Titanic.
How long is Titanic?
Like 2.5 hours?
That's like normal these days, you know.
Right, and at the time it felt like, oh
right.
my God.
We grew up in the era of 45-minute to hour-and-a-half movies.
Listen, the Titanic came in 2 VHS.
Did you have to rewind your VHS with the little key?
No, I'm 19. I wouldn't know. But I don't
What's
have,
that?
Yeah, I don't have time. The only movie I watch out of these is actually Wicked. I am not a musical person.
What'd you think of it?
Amazing. Give them all everything they deserve.
Give them what they deserve, but do
Yeah.
they deserve an Oscar?
I don't know.
And that's where I come in with, because I'm certain we'll get to like Best Actor here. Timothée Chalamet, God love you. You were great in the Bob Dylan movie, Something Unknown, but was that an Oscar-winning performance? No. Like, you were great. You've had Oscar-worthy performances. That wasn't one of them.
Do you think Kylie will make her red carpet debut with him?
I hope so. I love them together. I have personal insight to know that they are very much so lovey-dovey and very cute. And I honestly support it. I think girl needs a boy that just can like smoke and giggle and watch cartoons and have a great fucking time.
I also just heard that he loves her because of her playing. But who wouldn't love your partner having a
That's
private
horrible.
plane?
No, I think they genuinely have a great time. I think they see each other on the same level. Like, I'm not going to comment on whether or not I think like what I think of her, but I think they're good together. And like, let the boy date a girl. Come on, and let girl date a boy.
Yeah, we love
I love to see. So wait, who is Best Actor Comedy? Do you have that title?
Yeah, so performance by actor in a leading role.
Okay.
We have Adrian Brody, The Brutalist.
Love.
Miss Timothée Chalamet, A Complete Unknown. Coleman Domingo, Sing Sing. Ralph Fiennes, Conclave. There was another one, but it caught up with my thing.
Can I see that?
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you, first of all, Ralph Fiennes, love you. You're not going to get anything for that. Coleman Domingo, gorgeous. You never miss an opportunity to wear a brooch. Still, like, you're not going to get that. It comes down to, I think, Adrian Brody and Timothée Chalamet. Adrian has had so many Oscar moments, and he, I think, will really shine in this category. I think they're going to feel choked into giving it to Timmy. I still don't believe he'll get it. I think Adrian Brody he's such an Oscar actor, and Timothy's so young, he'll have, I think they're going to, what's his name? They're going to Leonardo DiCaprio him. They're going to avoid giving him an Oscar for like 20 years, and then he's going to like fight a bear in the woods, and we'll be like, here you go.
I'll fight a bear in the woods.
I've fought a bear in the woods multiple times.
Okay, on to the next one, because now we're getting into the greedy, women.
Who really matter, by the way.
Yeah, performance by an actress in a supporting role with Monica
Wait, there's
Barbero.
no lead actress?
I do, but yeah. An actress in leading role. Let's go with that, actually.
Yeah, I want to hear leading role first, then supporting.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, so performance by an actress in a leading role. Cynthia Erivo with Wicked.
She's not getting it.
Ooh. Carla Sofia Gascon with Emilia Perez,
I hope to God not.
which is very interesting to note that it is the very first trans woman to ever be nominated for performance by an actress in a leading role.
Which, let me be very clear, I don't want her not to get it because she's trans. I love my trans sisters. I just have such an issue with the Emilia Perez movie.
Oh, yeah.
What a train wreck of a film.
I have not watched it, and I am standing my grounds on not watching it only because my Mexican community are very offended by the movie. Like I said, I have not watched it, so my personal opinion doesn't really matter. But the buzz about Mexican culture is just like, you can't really just come in here and, one, have a play about drug deal and women abuse in Mexico, and you...
Also, it's a French director, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, I've lumped it in with Joker too. Movies I refuse to see on principle.
I'm not gonna watch Emilia Perez because like I said, my retention span is not that much. And if I'm gonna be watching a movie, I could just always turn on The Devil Wears Prada again.
Yeah, and again, musicals are hard to get into, and if it's not a sad French musical, I'm not personally interested.
Yeah, Mikey Madison by Honora. Demi Moore, The Substance, which is crazy to say that Demi is the very first time she has ever been nominated for an Oscar.
I want Demi to get this so bad. I think she and the girl from Honora have the two best chances of getting this. Is there anyone else nominated?
And then there's also Fernanda Torres with I'm Still Here.
No.
So you think it's Demi?
I think it's Demi with Honora and I think Honora would be this gorgeous moment of like, she's such a young actress, she's such a new blood. Because I remember it was Jennifer Lawrence for Winter's Bone years ago, right when she first was breaking out in Hollywood, won Best Actress, and it catapulted her career. And I think Hollywood is starving for new young blood that can be respected. And if we served her up on a steaming platter as young, Oscar-winning hotness, she would then become our darling girl. I think Demi Moore deserves it.
I think she deserves it. I also am very excited to see what she wears. She works with, what's his name?
I can't think of her
From the
stylist.
Rachel Zoe project. Brad
He's
Goreski.
She's had some great looks.
Brad
Her Golden Globe
Goreski,
look
yeah.
was stunning.
was
She looked
wearing
like a
Armani.
trophy.
Yeah, she was wearing Armani.
Armani also, if you want to look good, go to Armani. That was a great collection in Paris Fashion Week. That was like yesterday.
Very quickly, Armani Privé knows how to do classics. Beautiful. Armani Privé just lets you know that I'm not here to reinvent the wheel. I'm here to make this wheel beautiful.
It comes down to it for me when it comes to Armani is the selection of quality fabrics. Time and time again, you just can't. It doesn't get better.
The
I love
silk
them.
organza, the beading.
She's gonna look good. She also knows that she's going to be seen, and I assume Zendaya is going to show up because of Dune. She's going to be seen with all these other stars, so she has to go toe to toe.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see what Demi wears. Now, I want to ask you guys: is it Demi or is it Demi?
I think
Sound out in the comments.
I don't know.
Because I say both, and I think like Demi sounds very like pretentious.
I think it's Demi, but that's also my uncle has such a crush on her, and he's always called her Demi Moore.
Well, either way, like I love her, and I really hope she gets an Oscar.
Yeah.
I absolutely love her, and she deserves it.
Who's in supporting?
Now let's go into supporting role. Well, it's an actor, so we already went through that, right? And we don't really care for that.
No.
So, performance by an actress in a supporting role. We have Monica Barbero, A Complete Unknown, Miss Ariana Grande, Wicked, Felicity Jones, The Brutalist,
Okay.
Isabella Rossellini with Conclave, Miss Zoe Saldaña with Emilia Perez, and that's it.
I think they're gonna push, as far as like Oscar campaigns go, they're gonna push Ariana Grande harder for this one, so that when Wicked Part 2 comes out, they can push Cynthia Erivo for leading. She's not winning anything this season, but maybe next season.
Cynthia or Ariana?
Cynthia's not getting anything this year.
Okay.
But so I think that's why they're gonna push Ari for this year, because like we can't have them both be next year, because like that's like favoritism. Because technically she's not a supporting actress; she's a co-lead. That's what's crazy.
Yeah.
So Ariana's a co-lead. What's her name? The first one you listed from
Monica Barbero.
She has the best chance in my opinion. I did Brave the movie. I don't like musical biopics. I just like, I don't know. I've watched every musical biopic on earth because I just love to torture myself. She was the best part of it.
Yeah.
Hands down, she killed her character. I thought I was watching like the actual musician in real time. She was so wonderful.
Well, I am rooting for Ari.
I think I can root for Ari.
I think we're all rooting for our girl.
Do you think she's gonna play Audrey Hepburn?
Well, that's another thing because she showed up to the Golden Globes in the Givenchy archival dress that people were giving her shit for it, and they were like, "Why were you wear that?" And then someone said that apparently she is trying to
Show herself
as Miss Audrey Hepburn. I also saw an interview earlier today, like a random TikTok, where she's starting to talk British.
Okay, well, here's the thing. To me, it read as Bridgerton. I was like, oh, you look like a character from Bridgerton. You know who would do great as Audrey Hepburn? Is that little girl from Emily in Paris.
Oh,
I don't know the actress's name, but you would kill it.
yeah.
Absolutely kill it.
What's her name? Oh my god.
She looks like her.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry. I don't care how good or bad of an actress or actor you are. Please at least look like the biopic person you're doing.
Yeah, I think Ariana would do great as Audrey. And I think it could also, but the thing about Ariana is that she's so mainstream that it's like, she can be everywhere.
Yeah, but also it's like, can you, like, I sometimes have an issue with actors and actresses who they're so famous, I can't separate them from the role.
Exactly.
Where I'm like, oh, I'm watching, what's his name, play
Gaga.
a teacher, but I'm like, don't bring her up. Do you want to talk about her? She just had a big moment in culture.
So I'm excited. The Oscars are in March, the very first Sunday of March.
Oh, there's going to be a full podcast just reviewing the looks.
Just the fashion looks, because that is my favorite. I really don't care who wins, but I do hope that Ariana gets a Oscar. I think she deserves it. She's our girl. We love her.
There are 3 red carpets that matter. Oscars, Grammy, and Met Gala.
Oh, well, yeah.
Those are it. Everything else is like bonus gravy train. Those are the 3 that matter.
So I was going to give you original song, but we don't really care. So good luck, Ariana.
Wait, are there any original songs? I think...
Let's see. Original songs, El Mal from Emilia Perez.
No.
The Journey from the 688. Like a Bird from Sing Sing. Mi Camino from Emilia Perez. And Never Too Late from Elton John. Never Too Late.
Wait, Miley Cyrus didn't get any nominations for The Last Showgirl?
She did not.
Evil.
Evil. Miley, come to the podcast. I'll give you all the flowers you deserve, queen.
I'll buy you flowers.
Yeah. Okay, now on to the very last topic that we have to talk about.
I'm so excited.
Lady Gaga announced her 7th album, Mayhem.
It's no longer LG7. We've been calling it LG7 for 5 years.
It is now called Mayhem. The wait is over, little monsters. Lady Gaga finally announced her 7th album. It is called Mayhem and will be released on March 7th. Gaga posted a short video alongside the album announcement. Now, the album was produced by Gaga, Michael Polanski, and Andrew Watt. Producer on the album included Gaga. Anyways.
Did she credit her now fiance as a producer?
Michael?
Yeah.
Michael Polanski?
Is that her? I know her now fiance was definitely, she was giving him flowers recently. She's like, he made me do this.
I'm sorry, I don't know. I'm sorry, mother, that I don't know.
I mean,
my stepfather, but...
Anyway, keep going.
Yeah. The album will be released on Sunday, February 2nd. So that means the album's 3rd single and music video will be released this Sunday, February 2nd during the 2025 Grammy Awards.
Oh, damn, the Grammys really are coming up. How exciting.
Yes. So she is releasing an album. I'm sorry.
A single.
A single.
And then the final album will come out.
On March 7th. Now, it is also... the album contains 15 tracks, and there is an extra bonus on the song physical release of the album.
Oh, she said, you gotta buy this thing.
But here's the thing.
Yeah.
We have the 15 tracks, but we have the names of the 14 out of the 15 tracks. But we will not know the 15th until the album is released.
And are there any featured artists that I should know about?
Yes, actually, there are. Let me see. We have... Actually, I'm sorry.
If they are, I'm excited to see you. I think my biggest question is, what are your predictions? What do you see coming from this?
Well, here's one thing that I do want to touch bases because in December, Gaga told Los Angeles Times that Die With a Smile with Bruno Mars will be included on Mayhem.
I thought that was to get him out of debt.
Probably. But the thing about it is that when this song was released back in October, she said that this was just a single for the fans, that this would not be included in the album. And now it is included in the album. Which
is weird because she did have what we were referring to as LG 6.5, which was that weird Harley Quinn album she put out. Again, we do not acknowledge Joker 2 ever. But that happened. So that's going to be on the album. That's weird. Mm-hmm. Good for her. Does that speak any volume, you think, to the nature of what we're going to hear on this album? Because Die With a Smile is way more upbeat than the single she released, which was Show Your Disease.
Mm-hmm. Disease. Dance With a Smile, I think it's so mainstream. Mm-hmm. I mean, you have girls dancing at it at their wedding.
Yeah.
So Is it going to be my cup of tea?
Well, so every great singer has, in my theory, is on this one great wedding song.
Yeah.
And she said, I don't have a wedding song yet. Who does she get to do that? The number one wedding singer in the world, Bruno Mars. And he also conveniently needed to get out of debt.
Apparently, because apparently he owed a lot of money.
He
to
made a joke
casinos.
about it recently on his own Instagram story.
Yeah.
He's like, because he has that other song out that's so crass. And he's like, keep streaming, kids. I'll almost be out of debt.
Well, put up your GoFundMe, you know.
I know, he's fine. I saw him live twice. He's wonderful.
Yeah, really?
Oh, he puts on a show. That man, I don't know what drugs are on. That's a show.
He's been on the Super Bowl, right?
I
think he has. I'm
Has
almost
he?
positive that he has.
I don't remember men when they perform.
They're only. I've always said that the Super Bowl performance is a job for a woman.
You actually walked me through the oral history once of how that happened.
Yes, there are a few men who could do the Super Bowl halftime, and when I give you names, then you will realize that it is a job for a woman.
It really is. And I think you said it started kind of with Madonna. There were some great performances, but it wasn't until her that like you really start singing these show-stopping, crazy, and I think also Katy Perry catapulted like the quality of what a Super Bowl could look like into this like stratosphere of like the stage performance and the crowd involvement and like the level of costuming that goes on.
I think also the NFL found out that, hey, we can get more people to actually watch the game
Yeah.
rather than just people who watch it. Because let's be real, every single time that there has been a big Super Bowl performance, which in the last 10 years there has been many,
Massive.
Beyonce, Katy Perry, Madonna, Beyonce again,
Gaga did it once.
Gaga did it. Let's be real, all the gays and the girls get together for a party.
We had a party last year,
Yes.
and it was Usher.
It was Usher. We did not watch Usher, but Beyonce was there, and that's all I needed.
yeah,
So
Beyonce
like,
somehow always finds her way, and she also did Coldplay.
yeah, and we're which it was that's it. It was Beyonce, Coldplay, and Bruno Mars.
That is what it is.
Yes.
Wow, that was a packed stadium that night.
Yes, but Beyonce really saved the performance. I do believe that Bruno Mars could do it on his own, and the other two men that could do the Super Bowl is Michael Jackson and Drake, which that's why I say it's a job for a woman. Because
Michael Jackson's dead, and unfortunately Drake's not doing it. Kendrick Lamar's doing it, and he's
Right.
going to probably end Drake's career.
Good.
As he should.
Good.
Which I'm excited. I hope he shuts out. But back to Gaga for a second. This new album's coming out. I think this is a return to her like rock and roll punk roots. She said this is a headbanging album, a dancing album. This is what my little monsters, pause up girls, really want it.
Yeah.
And you said something the other day. I hope you don't mind repeating it. I won't hold it to you if you don't want to say it.
I do want to say I am a huge Gaga fan. I would lay my body.
He has the perfume in his bathroom. I can show it to you.
I do. I will lay my body onto oncoming traffic for Gaga. She is my girl. I love her. I think that Gaga is going through a how do I word this without the monsters attacking me? Maybe through a shift in her career of like being put as a legend. And I think every legend goes through.
It's hard to top your greatest when you are the greatest.
Yes.
And also, she had devoted like the past 7 years to becoming an actress. I mean, say what you want about her acting style. A Star is Born will go down as one of the greatest movies. And I just think, to what you were trying to say, and I'll be the bad guy here, there's a chance this is not as big of a commercial success. I'm not going to say FLOP,
Commercial. Yes.
but spell things out when you don't want to say FLOP.
Not the fallopian tubes.
But you're right. I think I'm worried. I'm holding out hope. I think she has a gorgeous team behind her. At the very least, I hope to see some great looks. She's back with Nikolai, her original costumer or stylist. He does great things. His assistant, who I don't know if is still with him, is doing wonderful things. So we'll see. I just want something to play at the club. And based off of what she gave us already with this first single, I think it will be good.
Okay. I'm holding space. I hope it's perfect. Holding space. I just don't know if it's going to be as big of a commercial success.
Did you see her most recent interview where she's like, look at all of my greatest hits. At the time they came out, they were not initially commercial hits because they were there was nothing like them at the time.
Yeah.
She said, I'm not trying to do what other people are doing. I'm not trying to put out a TikTok soundbite. I'm not trying to make another pop song. I'm making what will be looked back on as a great hits 5, 10, 15 years from now. And that's what really sets her apart is she's thinking forward about music, and she's like, you might not like this today, might not like this year, but when you look back on it, you're going to love this album. And that's, I think, how we need to frame our mindset around it, because I think, again, it's also, sorry to bring this up, Turf Hogwarts. The last Harry Potter was such a letdown for me, because it was 17 years of waiting for this final moment, and I was like, ugh.
You've already outgrown this.
I've outgrown it, just my expectations were so high, and I think with LG7, which we now have Mayhem as the name, we're going to see so many expectations put in front of it, and so no matter what they are, it's going to hit slightly below. Hopefully it knocks out of the park, but let's lower expectations so we can enjoy it, and then later down the line, be prepared to look back on it with much kinder eyes.
I mean, listen, I'm going to love it. I am going to be on tour with her. I'm going to be listening to the song. I am a Gaga apologist, but like I said, I don't know if she's going to get the Born This Way era. How do you top that?
And it's also because so much that was happening in Born This Way in her previous eras was so unexpected. Now we expect it. Mm-hmm. That's the defining difference in my mind. She was constantly doing something so unexpected. She was coming out in an egg, in a meat dress. She was walking the streets in the most insane outfit you've ever seen. Now we've seen normal Gaga. Now we've seen like pedestrian Gaga, who has made herself palatable for the general public. I genuinely think it was when she did that homage to
Sound of Music
Sound
at the
of Music.
Oscars.
That's when she won over the public eye. That's when what's-his-name saw her and said, oh, I'm going to make a movie about you.
Yep.
And now it's hard for her to go back to that, because like we've seen it before. We're like, okay, like how are you going to top your most insane version of yourself? Because she's also, what, 42 now?
No. She, I believe, about 38, 39.
She's so young.
Yeah.
God, I love
she's
her.
a few, yeah. And like I said, I am a Gaga apologist. I'm so excited for this new, and let's not forget, Gaga changed pop music. Gaga changed performance art. Gaga changed the music industry. So Gaga deserves all the flowers that she gets and far more.
Oh,
like
forever.
I said, I'm looking at it. We'll see how the album does, and I'll be buying it. Don't worry.
Do you think it'll change? Because with every Gaga album, there's a slight shift in culture. There's been some missteps, obviously. But do you think this, because we're seeing so many artists now switch to country. She did that country album that everyone hated years ago.
Joanne.
I personally love Joanne too. Do I hate that it's like the first song that comes on when I plug in my phone to my car? Yeah.
Ayo.
Ayo! I'm greeted with
Yes.
that, or fucking A-Team, believe it, by Ed Sheeran every time.
Well, Gaga is much better than Ed Sheeran.
Way better. I need to just delete that off.
Yeah.
But I do think this will show where we're going, and I think the youth is really receptive. Like the current generation that is between the age of 15 and 19, they didn't have a big Gaga album to hold on to the way that we did growing up. And so maybe this will be the one. The kids in high school, this might shift who they become in the future.
Hopefully.
I sure hope so. It worked for me.
I am so excited, Gaga. I am thrilled to have you back. You are the best fashion clown, and bring it on, sis. And to finish it off, I do want to end up this episode with Beyonce. She was supposed to give us a big announcement on January the 14th. However, that was canceled due to the fires in California.
Excuse.
Excuse. The thing about Beyonce is she always has her finger on the pulse.
She does. What do you think it is? Where are you going with this before I say anything?
I think it's a tour. It's either...
Hey, goddamn, better be... Sorry, it better be a tour.
But the thing about a tour is that she's such a perfectionist. She just ended Renaissance.
Renaissance.
Yeah. So I would not mind if she gives us the third album.
Yeah.
The Trilogy. Is that right?
So, have you heard the most recent sort of fan theory on that? So the idea, you remember Ivy Park?
Yeah.
I saw a creator talk about this recently. I'm sorry, I can't remember who you are. The idea that Cowboy Carter was supposed to come out first.
Correct.
But the pandemic happened, and she said no, and then deadlines came up, and that's when Renaissance came out. It was perfect.
Yeah.
It worked great. But if you look at the Ivy Park collection release,
It was cowboy thing.
Cowboy theme was first, then it was like the all silver, and then you have this punk rock. So it was the idea of doing her nod to the cowboy western, to acoustic, to indie, and then shifting into disco and club
Music.
tech. And this next one is going to be more rock and roll, and what I hope we get most from her, rap. Because she does rap 2 or 3 times maybe, and every time people are like, give us more.
Yes.
She's incredible, and
She's
we
incredible.
deserve more of that.
I mean, there's nothing the woman can't do.
So I really hope it is that, and I just think she could do rock and roll really well.
I would also love a hybrid, like if she is going to be doing rock and roll, like they
Rock
say.
and roll or hip hop.
Yeah. I would like a little hybrid of Cowboy Carter mixed with this into a whole
Tour.
tour.
I think that would be interesting. There was a point where I was like, oh, she's gonna go on tour with all of it. It's just exhausting at this point. Like, just she really said, I'm not giving you visuals, and then did that random halftime show at that random college stadium.
Yeah.
What was that? I don't follow sports, but it wasn't the Super Bowl. It was
It was a
was the
big
Rose
game
Bowl?
on Christmas Eve.
yeah, and it was gorgeous. But she said, that's the visual. Be happy. I watched it with my boyfriend and my best friend. I was screaming the whole time. At the very end of it, we were like, USA, USA. It was such a, like, honestly, the government needs to hire her. I have never felt so patriotic in my life.
I look at her and I seriously think you are a Barbie.
Absolutely a Barbie.
And there's nothing that woman cannot do. I love her. I'm so excited for whatever. But let me tell you something, Beyonce. Give me this camera because I'm going to tell her something. If on that motherfucking announcement you come up and tell me that you have some sort of like hair product, you have some sort of champagne coming out, I swear to God, I'm going to jump off a bridge. You better give me music. You better give me visuals. You better give me something, girl, because I'm not waiting all this long.
Oh, no. And if merch is like the slightly like lowest rung of acceptability, but like the lowest rung.
The only merch I need is a ticket to a concert.
Exactly.
That's all. Okay, girl? You heard me. Anyways.
But no more with these weird offshoot brands. Someone made a joke of, because you know how everything has the like the C accent on it. They were like, is she gonna make a goddamn cigar?
Listen, you can make a cigar. That's fine.
I'll smoke it.
Yeah,
I'll learn to love cigars.
Whatever. Just make sure that you sell it on tour.
Oh, smoke the stadium out. But
Give us something.
give us a tour date, because
Yes.
I don't often regret things. I majorly regret not seeing Renaissance live.
Everyone should if you didn't.
Oh yeah, you saw it, and I was like, I'm sorry, I didn't go.
That was the closest I've ever been to heaven.
It was. I watched so many of the visuals. Blown away. Blown
yes.
away. People who think it's the Illuminati, you might be right.
That's fine.
That's
You do
okay.
that, girl.
Great. Join up.
Yeah. Where do I sign up? Oh my God, this has been so amazing.
Thank you for having me
No,
on.
Thank you so much for just sitting here and talking so much crap about people we love.
Absolutely. No. And like I think there's so much to look forward to coming up.
So much. I mean, award season is coming up. New music is coming up.
So much new music.
We're eating.
We are.
We're eating.
I haven't gotten hungry in a long time, and that's nice.
Yeah. And also, I'm still waiting for Reputation, Taylor.
You can stand alone on that one. Sorry, I'm not a Taylor Swift fan. I want to go public on that.
She said what she said. I am. I am. Well, thank you so much. Thank you all so much. Make sure that you guys subscribe on our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, follow my guest, Liam. He is amazing in his content on Instagram. Chef kiss. So make sure that you follow us. Make sure that you tune in next week for our recap of the Grammys and our very special guest that you are going to
Oh,
love.
you're going to love her.
Yes, you will.
Also, only she, her pronouns on this podcast.
She, they, and them. That's it.
No he, him.
No, we don't know. We don't know.
I'd have never, couldn't be.
We couldn't be. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you next week. Bye.